Are on. Good morning, good evening, depends where you are. I'm Irene Wong, your host for Everything Ballroom YouTube channel. So our goal is to help ballroom dancers to have a wonderful journey. If you like what we do, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. This is live. If you want to ask questions, please type in the chat and provide comments, and we'll try to get your answers after the interview. If you're watching after this event, you can still type in the question in the comment sections, and we're trying to get the answer for you as well. Today, I'm so honored to welcome two our ballroom legends and our next guests. So they are the CEO of Global Smooth Systems and four-time U.S. Open professional smooth champions, World Showdance finalists, three-time Ohio Ballroom champions, world-class coach adjudicators and guest lecturers and adjudicator at the Blackpool as well. So co-creator and presenter of the Dance Vision Smooth Syllabus and 2015 Hall of Fame inductees and guest judge for choreographers on you think you can dance? Oh my goodness. And mostly, and they are also the organizer of the Ballroom Beach Bass event. Wow, many more. I can't say how much, appreciated they are going to spend the time with us. And without further ado, I let's get our two guests out, Michael Mead and Toni Redpath. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, Irene. Thank
Thank
you
you so much.
Thanks for having us.
So before we start, we always see you guys in the competition and famous faces. And can you start warming us up by sharing some fun facts or information that most people don't know about you two?
Something about myself that I feel like maybe people don't realize is I've lived in lots of different countries. So my accent is really vague these days. People are not quite sure where I'm from. Originally, I was born in Australia, and the first, say, 15, 16 years I lived in Australia, but I traveled a lot when I was young. And then around 16, 17, I started traveling to Europe a lot for my dancing. By 17, 18, I'd moved to Norway, and I lived in Norway for 3 years. And then I lived in England for 2 years for dancing. And then I moved to America, and I've been here ever since. So kind of very multicultural background and a weird accent because of it.
I love the accents, actually.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely a hybrid. When I go to Australia, they ask me where I'm from. No matter which country I'm in, they don't know where I'm from.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great to know about you. Yeah.
Oh, if I go back to Australia, within about a week or so, I start sounding a little bit more Australian. And it kind of creeps back in, but I think I'm blended out by now.
Cool. How about you, Michael?
Yes.
Michael's really humble, and so he's not going to say this, so I'm going to say it for him. He's like a mad scientist, like super genius, smart guy who is fully self-trained in computer skills. He was going to tell you some other story, and I'm like, people need to know that he's the mad genius behind all of our Beach Bash graphics, all of our posters. He totally built the Global Smooth System website. He's totally self-trained and amazing at it.
Well, that's very kind of you. Yeah, I enjoy that aspect of it. So apart from the dancing, I mean, I was going to be an accountant. I was training to be an accountant and did not enjoy the process. And that's what switched me over to dancing, because that was something I loved to do. But running the competition and running the websites, there was kind of a necessity to figure out how things were done. We went through a bit of a process when it came to finding developers to create things. So yeah, you learn by trial and error and going through and trying to educate yourself. So I have a fun time with that, especially with the graphics in the posters. That's because we we have a more fun flavor. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
I feel like it's the perfect blend of how smart he is and that British humor. Yeah.
Well, I worked for IBM for 28 years and I know how hard as a programmer we always make sure our engineer to do what we want them to do. It take forever, and I have my own business doing website and I said, I'm not doing it, I'm gonna hire someone to do it. So give you double thumbs up to see how hard it is.
Thank you. Yes, well, I'm very well aware now of my limitations, so I know when I have to call on people to help me.
But he's also really patient. That calmness that you see, I feel like it really benefits him in this. He's just very patient, and he'll just keep trying until he gets it right.
Yeah, you have to be relentless.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that is a champion quality right there. I already learned one thing from this whole thing is that you can always patient and learning and relentless. Those words I'm already jotting down as winner. Why you guys winning?
Yeah.
So this is great. So now we get into the ballroom judging. We are a pro am dancer, so you guys are judging us. So what would you say is have so many year judging experience? What is the most common criticism you offer when judging?
For me, when I'm criticizing somebody, I don't like we're very constructive and really positive. So I don't like seeing people in unnecessary stress. So I don't like it if teachers over choreograph for the students. I don't like it if the student is really in their head thinking about what they're going to do next. So I just feel like unnecessary tension is something that you're trying to not put out there on the floor. And that's easy to say. Dancing, even though as fun as it is, it's really stressful. So everything that you can do in your power by honestly simplify the choreography. Judges are never impressed if you're overwhelming us with lots of figures, if you're underwhelming us with the quality. And I feel like just make it really simple, go out there, connect with the music, connect with your partner, have fun, and don't have tension and the crazy eyes. Just relax. I would rather see 3 steps danced beautifully than 20 steps danced with stress. So unnecessary tension put on by the teacher or added by the student because you think the judges want to see more than what they actually do.
Wow, this is so important because when I dance, we always say, what is the trick? Impress the judge with the special trick, doing whatever. We've been practicing again on the trick that I couldn't do well. So I always, like what you said, I always at that moment I will be, okay, shoot, that is the one that I always can't do well. So it will have attention. So this is very interesting advice. So it's very new to me as well.
Oh, yeah. To me, you should look forward to every step you're going to dance. If you're dreading one piece in the corner, just take it out because I guarantee I won't mark it well. If you're not looking forward to it, I guarantee I'm not looking forward to seeing it.
Very insightful. So now I know because I knew exactly because that one trick I don't do is always that one that I couldn't do. So great.
Yes. So I will piggyback a little bit on what Toni said and say that you have to understand that the nature of competition and judging. So the judge's job is to choose one couple over another couple. And the judge is not going to look for how well you do something. They're going to look for how badly you do something. So the key is to not show them things that are bad. So don't try and impress them. Just allow the competition to make the mistake, not you. So you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be better than the person next to you. And you actually don't even have to be better than them. You just have to fool the judges into believing that you're better than they are. So the key is to the performance aspect of it is very, very important. That's why when people talk about, oh, you should be smiling, it's in order to disarm the judges, because the judges don't like to see, like, nobody enjoys watching somebody who's stressed or having a
panic.
Yeah, having a hard time. And even if you make a mistake, if you don't react to it, if you laugh it off, ha ha ha, then the judges they'll join you in that, and they'll believe that it's not as big a mistake as perhaps it was. So it's about fooling the judges, not being perfect. So don't put that pressure on you, and that's what the game is.
I'm also just going to put one thing out there for people who look at their marks. I do want you to understand, I don't know how it is around the world. I travel a little bit in Judge Pro-Am, but in America, the field is incredibly deep. Like, we can have first rounds and quarterfinals of Pro-Am events in all the different divisions, A, B, C, D, the senior events. And the fields are incredibly deep, very strong. So what I find is, like, I'm leaving people out of every round that I would like to have in there. And definitely by the final, I wish I could have this kind of special star that I would put next to my mark, meaning, okay, I'm putting 6 for you. Out of the 6 couples, I'm putting you 6, but I wish I could put a star saying, I actually considered you for top 3 places, but somebody has to come 6th. Like, everyone is so good. So please never look at the 4th, 5th, 6th mark and think that judge hates me. Just never put that in your head. Always know, like, kind of somebody has to be 4th, 5th, 6th. I can actually really love your dancing, be hating myself that I have to mark you so low, but just I'm running out of space because everyone is so good and I've actually considered you for the top 3 places. I wish there was a way of signifying that, because I feel like it's quite often.
Wow, those are very touch me as a Pro-Am dancer, what you say, right? For the judges, I love what you say.
Absolutely.
Fake it until you make it. That is such a mind-blowing things, because we so focus on doing perfect, fixing our mistakes. Our eyes and minds always just talking about, I'm making a mistake. How can I not making a mistake? But you really help us to say focus on enjoying, fooling the judges, and not focus on perfect. I love that words now. And
Yes.
and Toni talked about, you know, oh my God. So I don't know how to explain it, that you really explain how we were doing not right. And that's that. So, add on what you talked about. So we talk about critics, right? So on that. So how about one piece of number one advice you offer for the Pro-Am, the key, what would you offer? What we want them to do?
For me, it's finding the balance between having enough structure in your lesson and then enough freedom. Meaning, the reason why you fell in love with dancing is because you wanted to express yourself to the music, you love the connection with other people, you love the beautiful costumes, so you probably fell in love with the artistic side of dancing. Then unfortunately, you have to go down the rabbit hole of technique to be able, it's like any artistic endeavor, right? If you go into a ballet school, you fell in love with ballet because of the tutus and like Swan Lake and how Nutcracker made you feel. But you have to go through that process at the ballet bar of learning the structure of ballet. Same thing with singing. You might have fallen in love with a beautiful love ballad, but you have to learn how to do the scales. Same thing with piano. You have to learn the chords before you can play a concerto. So with ballroom dancing, it's like you walk in and you want to start with the concerto. You want to start with Swan Lake because that's what drew you to dancing in the first place and pulled at your heartstrings. But you have to go through that time of like building a technical foundation so that when you try and express yourself artistically, it doesn't look messy and strange. But then there's this balancing act. You have to find a teacher that is pushing you along the technical journey without totally holding you back artistically, and not one that's like totally catering to your artistic needs but not giving you the technical foundation to express yourself. So it's this fine balancing act where I say, make sure your teacher doesn't over push you and you do the syllabus competitions at the level that you really are, and then do one showcase number that's your freedom and like to music that you love, and you push yourself outside of your comfort zone, and just keep going like with that little skater approach of like syllabus, freedom and artistry, and a showcase performance. Then go back to the syllabus again. And it's finding a teacher, I always say like a dance guide, somebody that's going to guide you on the journey really well and keep those two things in balance. Finding that is very difficult, and finding the right fit is really difficult. So realize a dance teacher is like a restaurant. So if you go to a restaurant and have a nice meal and enjoy the meal, you don't have to go back and have that same meal every single time. You are very welcome to go to other restaurants and have another meal. So while you're in the stage of looking for the right teacher, feel free to go to 5, 6, 7 different teachers, restaurants. Try the meal that is right for you and see what feels right, because it's a really important decision.
Oh my God, this to me, I wish I heard this, very long time, because Chinese where tends to be loyal. We find a dance teacher, we stick with it. I have talked to friends. They hated the teacher, hated dancing. They didn't want to leave because they feel they invest the time, they respect the teacher. They feel is betrayal if I try some other teacher. So this is so important because the partnership side of the things, and you talking about finding the right fit and finding the right teacher, to me has become a fundamental, but it's so hard.
Yeah.
And
Very, very
so how
difficult process to go through. So that's what I'm saying. When you're at this stage, if you're not sure, I'm not disagreeing that once you find the right fit, that you are loyal to that teacher for years, because it's a beautiful synergy that you create together. But I feel like people go for one lesson and then just lock themselves in for years, whether it's right for them or not. And it's like, I feel like that takes a few weeks or even a couple of months. And you absolutely have the right to go to different restaurants. Like you're not beholden to one restaurant and one meal.
Yeah, I would say that understanding that this is a hobby for amateurs and that you want to enjoy your hobbies, and you have to enjoy the journey. If you're not enjoying the journey, then there's something wrong with how you're going about it. This is not right. And understand that every coach, every teacher has different strengths. They will work on different aspects of the dancing based on what they view as most important. So if you want to have a really well-rounded dancer, there is absolutely nothing wrong with identifying weaknesses in your dancing, your personal dancing, and then finding a coach that is excellent at addressing that particular issue. So I think the best coaches are not threatened by their students going to get good information from other coaches.
so important to us as a dancers, right? So we don't know when we start. I keep saying this. I wish I knew what I know now after 18 years in this industry, right? So what you said to us is reinforce us to allow us to feel reasonable, to explore, and not feeling betrayal.
No,
We hate that kind of feeling.
yeah, no guilt. You should not feel guilty for searching for what is right for you. This is your hobby.
And it's your money.
You're the customer.
I love what you said. That's our hobby, and now I tell people that, right? But when I started, I didn't feel that, right? The same way. I also love, Tony, what you talked about is that the skating of the artistic, the finding the balance between these two. And I didn't get that myself. So because I'm competitor, I'm only doing competitive. I feel like I know many of my friends feel the same way as I am spending the money. I want to focus on getting my competition right, so I won't do the showcase. But end up I
Right.
did, and I love it, right? So I do those, but I still have friends. I'm talking to one of my friends now. He said I hated doing the showcase. So she
Oh,
100% in the competition. So I
right.
feel now I can tell her that do try because you want to show your artistic side. And she never smiles. She finally feel smile and not listen to the music. So I can understand this is really, really helpful on that.
Yeah, she doesn't even have to perform it in public, but just going through the process of listening to one piece of music and just really trying to be, connected to it and connected to her partner and just video it for herself and see what it's like to be that free. There's no pressure, going through that artistic process doesn't have to be for the public, but it's a shame that she misses out on that out of, lack of confidence or doesn't enjoy that side of it. Again, it's different for everybody. So we have to respect everyone's process.
Yeah, I think when you first are attracted to dancing, it's because the music makes you feel something and you want to express yourself to the music. It's not because you want to learn how to do a perfect heel turn or stick your arms up in the air to the sides. So that's the initial impetus. And at the highest level, you don't see technique.
Yeah.
You just see bad technique as a distraction from the dancers expressing, being the physical manifestation of the feeling, the emotional content of the music. So at the highest level, they make you feel, and it's not because of the quality of the technique. The quality of the technique allows the emotional force to actually come through and be shown. So even at the beginning, at the very, very beginning, you do it because you love the thought of being able to express yourself. So be careful that you don't get caught up in a purely technical approach to it, feeling that, okay, if I do it technically perfect, that's what's going to please the judges, and that's what is the best dancing. Because gestures or without intent and focus are empty gestures. So it's just a conduit. Technique is a conduit to be able to express yourself fully emotionally. And that's the most rewarding way of dancing also, I feel. Sometimes people are a little bit afraid of expressing themselves or revealing emotions through dancing. But this is one place on the dance floor where you can do that and not get arrested. If you do it in public, perhaps they won't be as appreciative. But on the dance floor, you get rewarded for it.
Wonderful. So Tony talking about the one advice is that. How about you, Michael? What is your one advice for the dancers?
I think it revolves around the fact that you've got to enjoy the whole process. So all of the items that we brought up, the checklist of making sure your teacher is a good fit for you, that the approach that you're taking fits your personality, and that you're enjoying the whole process. That's the journey is super important, because the destination doesn't matter if you win the world championships 2 years later, there's another world champion, no one remembers your name anyway. So it really is, it's all about the journey. So enjoy the journey.
Wonderful. Feel the music, enjoy the journey. That's the key. So, one of my friends asked me to ask this questions, and she said, she's an older, lady. She said, competing in ballroom dance requires presenting the whole package. But some mature lady like her, she wear practice heel, in competitions, which is comfortable and more stable for them. As a judge, how do you feel about those choice? Is it negative impact your score? If they're not, embrace the whole competition look, the look part.
So I agree that the whole package is important, and realize the whole package includes the quality of movement of the dancing. So to me, if I see the high heels on, but their quality of movement is suffering, then the biggest part of the dancing is now, like, that part of the package is gone. So if she has nice clean heels, like they're a little bit lower, and then the quality of movement is powerful, her silhouette is beautiful, the hair and the makeup and the dress is great. To me, whenever I see lower heels, I realize that this is helping me see better quality of movement across the floor. And I would never judge somebody down for that. And I would never judge somebody next to them up because they have heels if they don't move better than them. You know, I'm just going to judge the quality of movement side by side, not which heel they're wearing.
Great, great, great. So now we're going to talk about your upcoming event, Ballroom Beach Bash. You know, Everything Ballroom, our company will be there the first time as well. Thank you for
Beautiful.
having us there. You know, how about what can you tell us, the audience, about the event and many unique feature that you want to highlight? And so invite more of us coming for your event.
You are all welcome to come and celebrate. It's our 10-year Bashiversary. It's our birthday, so it's gonna be epic. Beach Bash is always with like our pitches. We're fun times but fierce competition. This year, because of the birthday bash, it's double points. So we know it's going to be really big entries for the World Dance Sport Series for our Pro-Ams. So we know we're getting a lot of entries this year. People are very excited. So the fierce competition is going to be absolutely turned on high heat. And then the fun times, sadly, we've lost our co-organizer, Jonathan, as an organizer, even though he's always going to be a huge part of the Beach Bash. Just in other jobs, we're trying to figure out how to. He will definitely be there. But the fun times for us is Nazar and Irina have joined us, and we're thrilled. They are so awesome.
They're rhythm champions.
Yeah, they're rhythm 3 times.
Great energy.
Yeah,
a lot younger than Jonathan.
Exactly. So they're bringing more fun times. They have great ideas. We're loving working with them.
Yeah, the ballroom is stunning. We have these huge LED screens around the floor. Toni does an amazing job with decorations, along with Martha at her company. It's an amazing atmosphere.
We have a week-long party with all of our dance family, and we plan it all year. We look forward to it all year. And this year, like our leader events, like our men's events are huge.
They're the largest in the country.
Largest in the country. So this year it's like going to be bigger and better. I can't tell you how excited we are. We can't believe we're 10 years old. I guess it's time to grow up and be sophisticated.
No, I don't think so.
No, that'll never happen.
It's going to be live streamed too.
Oh yeah, for the first time we're live streaming.
Yeah. So if you can't be there in person, you can catch it
but
online.
You need to be there in person. Come and join us. You are all welcome. We love everyone at the Bash, and we want you to have the best time. We have cruise directors who cheer you on. We dress you up. We party with you.
We have the best customer service.
Yeah, we just party with you all week, and we love every second of it.
Great, great, great. And thank you. Everything Ballroom, our team will be there. And come try on dresses and look very good, as well as the whole package. So, before we open for the audience, anything else you want to add, before we open up questions for the audience?
I'll just say that the judges are just looking for people to maximize their potential.
Yeah.
So whatever your potential is, whatever your physical size or shape, doesn't matter. It's just making sure that you do your best. If you do your best, you can walk off the floor proud of what you put on the floor, and understand that it's just a process. So the more you do, the better you're going to get. There's an inevitability to it. So you can rest easy in that. So don't get down on yourself for any one result that you may feel does not reflect the effort that you put out onto the floor. Just do your best, and you're doing a great job. You'll get better every single time. That's what we're looking for.
I totally agree. That's so important for it. Thank you so much for your amazing advice. I learned a lot. I'm hoping the audience does as well. So let's open up for the live questions. And if you have questions, typing into the chat, and Ellie will raise hand and help put down either comment or questions for that. Ellie? Okay.
Yes, Francis Author, he has several comments and a question. When Toni said that if there's a move that you are not comfortable with, drop it, because if you don't enjoy doing it, and the judge won't enjoy watching it. And then he said it's so helpful. Thank you so much for saying that. And also when Toni said that a lot of time you want to mark people, the top 3, but you have to mark someone to be the 6th, but it doesn't mean that they're really 6. You wish you can do more about that. And then Francis said that, thank you so much for saying that too. And then he has a question for Toni, and said that, where did you learn to teach? In the university, or is it a natural skill set for you?
Francis, hi, lovely lady. Thank you for your beautiful question. I always love having your energy around. Mwah, to you, Francis. Yeah, so where I was, two aspects. One, I grew up with Ray Rivers. He was my dancing dad. My mom married my dancing teacher, so he turned into my dancing dad. So from 8 years old to 16, a solid 8 years of my life, 9-10 years of my life, he was my main coach, and he was all about the fundamentals, do the simple things really well. He sent me when I left Norway and went to England, I didn't have a competitive dance partner, but he sent me to Elizabeth Romaine. She was the lady that co-wrote the ISTD Gray Ballroom book. So there's 2 famous books, the Walter Laird Red Latin book, and the ISTD Gray Alex Moore Ballroom book. And she co-wrote that with him. So when I was in England for 2 years, I would stay, I would house sit, I would look after her dogs. So I spent a lot of time with her, and she taught me how to be a leader. I fell in love with Syllabus. It was a very unique process. I would never have done it, but I didn't have a partner, and Ray was like, do your exams. And I always did what Ray told me to do because he's a smart guy. Don't tell him I said that. And then finally, when I moved to America, the best thing that ever happened to me is Pro-Am, teaching Pro-Am. I had 7 or 8 guys on my Pro-Am team. All of them were either Marines, in the military, because I lived in San Diego, or they were engineers and scientists. So my goodness, I had to be precise. I had to be clear, because if I said one thing one time, they would come back and analyze it. If I said, use that squidgy bit here, they would be like, do you mean the ulnar bone? And I was like, yes. They were doctors, they were engineers, they were scientists. So they gave me like rotational inertia, nexus point, fulcrum point, like pendulum switch. I was just like, I got indoctrinated by some really smart guys that really wanted to dance well. And it was this beautiful synergy of me being the artist and then being the scientist. And it definitely, absolutely affected my teaching all the way through. And that's how we created the Global Smooth system, is through that whole process. It was like 30 years of work. And my genius husband has created this beautiful website. So one drill at a time, there's 1,100 videos that we made. And it's literally like, how do you go from standing up straight to creating a frame to moving? And it's like, thanks to those engineers, that I feel like we've tried to simplify the artistry of dance into the science without sacrificing it and making it robotic.
Well put.
How can we get access to that system? Do you mind to, I'm going to post, can you send it to me in our comment and detail? So allow people to be able to, how to get access to your Global Smooth system.
If you type in globalsmoothsystem.com,
yeah, that's
it. I don't think there's any others. Yeah. And understand, it's like a university course for smooth. So it's not high school. So realize, like, a syllabus, like Dance Vision Manual, is like high school. Like, what are the figures you're doing? What are the elements? What are the rules? What are the base syllabus figures? That's not what Global Smooth System is. Global Smooth is my personal methodology on teaching any syllabus. So it could be Arthur Murray's, Fred Astaire, Dance Vision. It's like how to dance. It's not what to dance, it's how to dance. And it's very extensive. There's like a superstar library. So when you get in there, it can be a bit overwhelming, but it's full of great courses.
Wonderful. So that's good explanation about what dance vision versus the global smooth system is. That is really helpful
Two totally different
for
products,
us.
yeah.
So maybe one time we're going to get you in and specifically talk about how to dance, on the smooth side. Yeah, we're gonna pull you back in again soon. Okay, so now now you reminded me that Michael and the fun fact that you told me, but you didn't tell the audiences, and you learn your smooth first
Yeah.
outside of US.
Yes,
Tell us
that's
about
correct. Yeah, well, I was going to be an accountant, and I realized at age 21 that I really was not enjoying the process. So I saw an ad for an Arthur Murray's training class. It was a free training class. And so I went along and I joined in the training class. And I had a lot of fun doing that. I was quite good at it. So I started dancing American style in London, which is kind of like ass backwards for an English person. And then it wasn't until I came to America that I actually started training in international ballroom. And I started competing in it. But of course, because I had an English accent, everybody assumed that I'd danced for years in England in international style. So their expectations were sometimes a little bit higher than the reality of what I was able to produce. But it was a very fun process. So actually, I started with American style and I ended with American style. So maybe that was karma. That was meant to be.
Full circle.
Yeah. Yeah,
I did
love
make the
that.
final
I
of
love
the
that.
nationals in America, though. So I did okay in ballroom. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a ballroom finalist. That's before we started dancing together. He asked me to dance with him, and I'm like, ooh, ballroom, because I was dancing Latin pro-am with my brother. And then I was like, okay, fine. And he's like, but I'm interested in smooth. I was like, hello. Yeah.
Yeah, so it all worked out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So it's life has something, I always tell I'm a coaching my friends in college right now. Life is something that I said find yourself first, right? And then, instead of accountant, you study in classes, it may not who you are. So
No,
if
I
you don't enjoy something, it won't last and see where you take you. So I mean, that is to me is kind of story in life as well. So I feel ballroom dancing actually really reflects on the life. So I'm looking to you two. I feel, such a life story to share as well. Wonderful. Oh,
yeah,
any
very fun.
other questions? You go.
Michael, want to say something?
No. I just said it's a very fun journey.
Gotcha.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah. So any other comment, Ellie? Yes, go ahead.
Orested a little, I hope I pronounce his name correctly. And he said that I love Toni and Michael. Thank you, Irene, for hosting this. And then Frances, author, she has more comments. She said that, Michael, thank you for addressing the issue of size. This is so encouraging. And then she said that, thank you for explaining that about your student. Great teachers can learn from their students. And Sandy Marino, she said that, thank you so much for reminding us that it's all about the journey. I started dancing at 59 and I'm now 76. I wasn't ready to get old at 59 and I am definitely not ready at 76.
Awesome.
And then Trang, she said that does having a professional partner who is a formal champion create an automatic advantage for an amateur student? It seems most times the judges only seem to look at the more famous pro and couples.
That's no. If there's definitely been, okay, I'm not going to say it's not an advantage, just literally because like if they're a world champion, they're obviously really great dancers. And a lot of the times they're really good teachers. So their students tend to be better. But that I've absolutely looked at a couple as they're walking on the floor. I'm like, oh, he was a world champion. She might be really good. Be aware of it. And if I look and if they're not good as a couple, then I'm smart enough as a judge to be like, okay, you can't pay for the mark. You know, you've got to earn it with your dancing. So it's only the advantage that it is. But if you sign up with a world champion and don't have good dancing, it's actually a disadvantage. It's like, wow, you haven't taken advantage of what skills they have to offer you. You haven't listened to their teaching, or you thought that you can just hop on and enjoy the ride. That's not how it works.
Yes.
There's couples that I have no idea who the teacher is, and I'm like, wow, I'm marking them first. They're amazing. Yeah. Please respect that the judges, we're not totally swayed.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. I mean, I did pro-am for years, and as much as you might try, you cannot compensate for shortcomings in your amateur partner. You have to train them so they can do it themselves.
Yeah.
So there's no way that if you come out, it doesn't matter how good your pro partner is, if you're not producing and somebody else is, then you're not going to get, I'm not going to mark you.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah.
So there is the advantage because the world champion is a great dancer. So don't get me wrong, you know, but if they're not a great teacher, then it doesn't do anything. But a lot of them are.
Yeah. But, so, you know, this has come up again and again. A lot of the student, maybe I think the teacher also sometimes create that throughout the years I'm in the industry, right? The teacher, sometimes the student did not get a good mark, and sometimes they will tell the student because the judge is biased or something like that, could be, but also how you address the feeling. It's or you guys in the industry for so long, you have a very influential point. What anything that you want to do or could do to make us as a pro-am feel it is very fair?
I think you really have to trust, like these NDCA or the, you know, the business that we're in. I feel like you can really trust that 99% of most panels are very balanced, made up of really nice people. Like when we come off the floor, we like talking to our fellow judges. It's not like we're trying to get away from them. We all come from different backgrounds: rhythm, smooth, theatrical, ballroom, Latin. Everyone, when I talk to them, takes it very much to heart, their job. They really want to do their best by the industry. I have heard like in other countries that like, oh yeah, you know, it used to be very political there. But I truly, truly believe in America that it's very balanced panels, very fair panels. And I would be in shock that it's like really like incredibly political. And it's, to me, great dancing always wins. If you look at the champions in every style, it professionally in pro-am, tell me one style where you're like, yeah, that person shouldn't be the champion. I guarantee like every division, you're like, yeah, no, they're worthy. They're worthy and they win, and the judges, we really take it to heart to do the job properly. And I feel like that's 99% of them here.
Yeah, I would say that it's, I mean, realistically, the dance world is the same as the world outside. So you're going to get a few individuals who lack the self-confidence and will view using marks as a way to maintain their business or influence.
But it's
not the majority, I don't think. And I think the majority of people, that's why we have more than one judge on the floor. You have a multiple numbers of judges. I'm just going to get that alarm.
Yeah, he's got an alarm on because he's got to go teach soon. Yeah, really believe in the judging process. If you're good enough, you'll win. Michael and I, when we were dancing, we had two coaches our entire smooth career. We had Ron Montez and Heather Smith. And like, you know, I'd grown up with Ray, so Ray came in and watched. And I think like that was it in the 4 years that we heavily competed in smooth. That was it. So if it was political, we would have had to have taken like 20 lessons off 20 different coaches. And we just really believed in our coaches and got as good as we could. And so there's no way our two coaches were political enough that they pulled the string of a 19 judge panel.
Yeah, and they
There's
didn't actually
no way.
know international ballroom and Latin. They didn't judge the
they
smooth
didn't even
anyway.
judge the smooth. So it's like, just be a great dancer and win. Like that, I really believe in that. I preach that. I tell all my couples, don't look at marks. I'm like, just get better at stay together, find the right partner, stay together, get better, win.
That was kind of Ron Montez's
That was Ron
mantra.
Montez's mantra. Find the right person, then stay together, get better, and then the results will come or they'll not. And like, don't worry about politics. It's just so rubbish. I don't believe in it at all.
Wonderful. I agree. So do the right thing to us, as long we continue to improve. I feel I keep hearing the same comments. Inwards, not outwards. Focus us, improve on us. Then we achieve, we enjoy it. Everything it's us to focus on. Not worry about politics or whatever. Things will happen. So I
The
like
rewards
that.
will come.
So
Focus on what you can control.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I know you guys need to run. So we're going to go through maybe, one more comment. Okay, I know you already have your alarm set. So okay, one
Gotta
more
go.
last question. Yeah, one more last questions before we head out.
Okay, Mary wants to know that when you judge, what do you first look at when the competitors first walk onto the floor? What is the first thing you look at?
Really simply, a confident silhouette. So if somebody's walking out with their beautiful posture, setting up like gorgeous dress, like just that confidence of walking on the floor, if they're looking around, looking at their teacher, if they're like looking at their nails or nervous, or you can tell they're already anxious. So just somebody walking out like proud, smiling, looking forward to it. Immediately I just kind of scan and I'm like, they look like they're looking forward to dance.
So you have to look like the result that you want. So you look like the champion, you present as the champion, you're more likely to get marked as the champion. But you don't have to feel like the champion inside. You just have to fool the judges.
Yeah, fake it till you make it.
Fool the judge. Fool the judge. I love
We're simple people. We're very simple people.
Very easy to influence visually.
That is so much. Thank you. I'm really grateful for both your time and we're going to continue this. If the audience have more questions, keep coming in, and then we'll try to get the answer for you, and then we're going to work with you guys. Hopefully we'll have another interview and talking about the smooth style suit. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
If you like what we do dancing and what we do